Having experienced so much, I came to a profound realization. The human mind, when guided to a quiet, calm place, possesses an incredible capacity to overcome adversity. The key is to calm it down, to tame its frantic energy, and to believe that you can indeed make things work, no matter how dire the situation seems. For me, that meant facing 30 more miles of an ultramarathon with my body in the worst shape and pain of my life. I had to transform that enormous challenge into something small. I broke the 30-mile hurdle into tiny chunks. My mind needed calming, my body needed water, potassium, and sodium. I had to conquer the dizziness that prevented me from standing. After about an hour, the dizziness subsided, and I could stand, albeit moving at a sluggish 30-some minutes per mile around the track. My crew person delivered the disheartening news at mile 81, I wasn't going to make the 24-hour cutoff. It was in that moment that everything clicked. The human mind, once it realizes you are absolutely not going to quit, becomes a relentless ally. It starts searching for more, giving you more. It understands you won't take the path of least resistance, you will stay until the job is done. My mind, body, and spirit unified for the first time ever, propelling me to a level of performance I never thought humanly possible for myself or anyone else in my condition. I ran another 19 miles, completing 101 miles in 18 hours and 56 minutes. This was the final crucible, and overcoming it brought an incredible clarity, the most amazing accomplishment of my life. I was at the very edge, convinced I couldn't take another step. My tank was at 99% drained, the gas light on, my engine sputtering. Yet, I knew I had to find more to finish and get to Badwater. But how do you push when pain is your only sensation with every step, when agony permeates every cell, begging you to stop? It's tricky because the threshold for suffering is unique to everyone. What's universal is the impulse to give in, to feel justified in abandoning an unfinished task. By now, it's clear I'm easily obsessed. Some criticize my passion, but I reject the prevailing American mentalities that advocate for going with the flow or getting more with less effort. I embrace my obsessions and demand more of myself because I've learned that it's only when I push beyond pain and suffering, past perceived limitations, that I truly accomplish more, physically and mentally in endurance races, and in life as a whole. I believe the same holds true for you. The human body is like a stock car. We may look different, but beneath the surface, we all possess vast reservoirs of potential, hindered by a governor. In a car, it's a hardware issue, limiting fuel and air to prevent overheating, capping performance. Remove it, and the car rockets beyond 130 miles per hour. For humans, it's subtler. Our governor is buried deep in our minds, intertwined with our identity. It knows our loves and hates, our life story, shaping how we see ourselves. It's the software that delivers personalized feedback in the form of pain, exhaustion, fear, and insecurity, encouraging us to stop before we risk it all. But here's the crucial point, it doesn't have absolute control. Unlike an engine's governor, ours can't stop us unless we buy into its message and agree to quit. Sadly, most of us give up having only given about 40% of our maximum effort, even when we feel completely spent. That's the governor in action. Once you understand this truth, it's simply a matter of stretching your pain tolerance, letting go of your identity and self-limiting stories, to reach 60%, then 80%, and beyond without quitting. I call this the 40% rule. Its power lies in unlocking new levels of performance and excellence in sports and life, yielding rewards far beyond material success. The 40% rule applies to everything because life rarely unfolds exactly as planned. Challenges are inevitable. Whether at work, school, or in our most important relationships, we'll all be tempted to walk away, abandon goals, and sell ourselves short because we feel empty, having given everything, when in reality, we haven't even tapped half the treasure buried deep within our minds, hearts, and souls. I know the feeling of approaching an energetic dead end, I've been there countless times. I understand the temptation to yield, but I also know that impulse is driven by your mind's desire for comfort, and it's not telling you the truth. It's your identity seeking sanctuary, not growth, not greatness, not wholeness. The software update needed to shut down your governor isn't a quick download. It takes 20 years to gain 20 years of experience. The only way to push beyond your 40% is to callous your mind day after day, which means chasing pain like it's your job. Imagine being a boxer. On day 1, a punch hurts like hell. A year later, you're absorbing 12 rounds and back to fight the next day. The punch hasn't lost power, your opponents are stronger. The change is in your brain, your mind has calloused. Your tolerance for mental and physical suffering expands because your software has learned you can take far more than one punch. If you persist with any task trying to beat you down, you will reap rewards. Take running with a broken pinky toe. I'd bet if you keep running, soon you'll run on broken legs. Sounds impossible, right? I know it's true because I've run on broken legs, and that knowledge helped me endure all manner of agonies on the ultra circuit, revealing a clear spring of self-confidence I drink from when my tank is dry. But nobody taps their reserve 60% immediately or all at once. The first step is remembering that your initial blast of pain and fatigue is your governor talking. Once you do that, you control the dialogue in your mind, reminding yourself you're not as drained as you think, that you haven't given it your all, not even close. Believing that keeps you in the fight, worth an extra 5%. Of course, it's easier said than done. Starting the 4th lap of the Hurt 100 was agonizing because I knew the pain ahead. When you feel dead, buried, dehydrated, wrung out, and torn up at 40%, finding that extra 60% feels impossible. I didn't want the suffering to continue, nobody does. That's why the line, "Fatigue makes cowards of us all," rings true. Mind you, I didn't know about the 40% rule that day. The Hurt 100 was when I first contemplated it. But I had hit the wall many times before and learned to stay present and open-minded enough to recalibrate my goals. Even at my lowest, I knew staying in the fight is always the hardest and most rewarding first step. It's easy to be open-minded strolling the beach after yoga. But suffering makes it hard work. The same applies to daunting challenges at work or school. Say you're tackling a 100-question test and know you botched the first 50. It's incredibly difficult to maintain the discipline to keep taking it seriously. But it's imperative you do, because in every failure, there's something to gain, even if it's just practice for the next test, which is guaranteed to come. The 1-second decision, I lived through it several times during that 100-hour race. What people don't get is the immense pride in finishing within the time, even if I technically DNF'd. We all contemplate quitting, but that 1 second is incredibly hard for the brain to process information when pain takes over. You're in fight or flight, not rational thought, not the mindset that gets you through hard times. Most people fail that 1 second. What I do, and there's a bigger process to it, is physically stay in that water, because getting out means quitting, but mentally, I'm on the beach with the instructors, warm with a cup of joe, having already gone through it. Mentally, I'm chilling, warm, thinking logically. I take that 1 second. Let's not quit yet, Goggins. Think about your options. No matter how many times you fall, where will you end up if you quit? What will you say to yourself? You know you'll be warm the second you get out. I calm my brain, which just wants to ring the bell, get warm, and be done. These are the things you must think about in the 1 second decision. It's about gaining control of your mind, putting things into perspective, and then affirming, I do want to be here. I knew I'd have many of these 1 second decisions throughout that 130-hour journey, and I had to learn to control them. Failing one meant not becoming a SEAL, a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever I set out to be. That's how critical the 1 second decision is. It's your mind taking control, and you must say, I run this. We must create a system that constantly reminds us of who we are at our best, because life won't pick us up when we fall. There will be forks in the road, knives in your back, mountains to climb. We are only capable of living up to the image we create for ourselves. Prepare yourself. We know life can be hard, yet we feel sorry for ourselves when it isn't fair. From this point forward, accept the following as Goggins' laws of nature. You will be made fun of, you will feel insecure, you may not be the best all the time, you may be the only black, white, Asian, Latino, female, male, gay, lesbian there. There will be times when you feel alone. Get over it. Our minds are incredibly strong, they are our most powerful weapon, but we have stopped using them. We have access to so many more resources today than ever before, yet we are so much less capable than those who came before us. If you want to be one of the few to defy these trends in our ever-softening society, you will have to be willing to go to war with yourself and create a whole new identity, which requires an open mind. It's funny how being open-minded is often tagged as new age or soft. But being open-minded enough to find a way is old school, it's what knuckle-draggers do, and that's exactly what I did. For me, failure is just a word. Failure was simply having more information on how to succeed. That's all failure became to me. So I failed so many pull-up records, running events, had to quit buds, rangers, all that crap. All it was, oh, I failed because of these reasons. Go back to the drawing board, figure out the right equation, put it together, go back, fail again. Oh, but I got more information. So everything I was afraid of, I made sure to meet it right in the face and overcome it. And if you're ready to unlock more of your own power and build habits that last, make sure to subscribe to Power Habit Hub right now. You won't regret it.